All right, we're sitting here at Egglet Adams in Robert Eglet's office. He doesn't know it though, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so yeah, we snuck in. But we have Congresswoman Shelley Berkley with us tonight. And I gotta say, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
This is an honor, absolutely.
It's my pleasure.
And she's got a long history of helping the people of Nevada and veterans. Now, you said you started in Veterans Affairs.
Yes, when I was first elected to Congress, before I was elected to Congress, the veterans in the community kind of took me under their wing, and they were explaining all of the issues that the veterans were facing. So by the time I was elected to Congress, again, with tremendous veteran support and help, I had a pretty good idea of the challenges that the veterans were facing, not only in my community, but throughout the United States. So when I got to Congress, I asked to be put on the Veterans Affairs Committee, and my request was granted. So when I first started in Congress, one of the very first committee that I was assigned to was the Veterans Affairs Committee. And unlike most freshmen, I had a very good idea of what the issues that were facing veterans. So I was able to hit the ground running, and that was a really good thing.
Oh, that's awesome. We need you back.
Oh, thank you. Yeah? Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Now, you started your career as a congresswoman when?
I was elected in 1998, and I finished my service in January of 2013.
Wow.
So it was 14 really great years. Loved every minute of it, and wouldn't trade a single minute of any year for anything in the world. It was a great experience at that time. Things are a little more challenging,
a little different now. Yeah.
But at the time it was wonderful to be in DC, representing, of all places on earth, Las Vegas.
Yeah, how sweet is that? That's awesome.
It couldn't be sweeter.
Now, one thing on a personal note, I've always wondered, going up for re-election, how stressful is that really?
Well, when you first get elected and you walk into your freshman office, and at the time there's no drapes, no floor, you're picking out everything. And I looked around and I thought to myself, how did I manage to fool all those people in my district that thought that I could do this job? It seems so overwhelming, and you're hiring your staff and you're putting together your congressional office, you're flying back home every week. I flew home every weekend. And then when you get elected for the first time and you're back, all of a sudden you walk into your office and you have this sense of comfort that I belong here. Right. You know the issues, your staff is humming along, your office is already set up, and you realize it was just 24 months ago that I thought that the people of Nevada had made the greatest mistake, and now I feel that I really am a congresswoman.
Good. That's being humble, by the way, because you did great things.
Well, thank you, but that's exactly the way I felt.
That's awesome. I mean, that's nowadays, unfortunately, that's rare.
Yeah,
but you're a real person. We appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
So do the veterans that I know.
Well, thank you.
Now, here's a big point. You helped start the Veterans Hospital over in North Pecos.
I'm going to tell you how this got started. As a freshman, I had a lot of advisory committees. So I had a Hispanic advisory committee and a women's advisory committee, a veterans advisory committee. Nice. After the first meeting, the women veterans came over to me and they said, we want a separate committee. We don't want to be with the men. And I thought, okay, all right. So we started a separate women's veterans committee. We call them Lady Vets.
Yes.
So
there you go.
The Lady Vets. In the first meeting of the Lady Vets, they told me they needed a mammogram machine in the old VA clinic on MLK Drive.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, how am I going to get a mammogram machine? But they explained to me, many of them were older, most of them were older. They were World War II or Korean War veterans. Remember, this is over 20 years ago.
But still, that's them,
They were gray-haired ladies for sure. And they said, we have to come here to the VA clinic. Then they give us kind of a prescription. You got to go get a mammogram. So we have to go to get the mammogram. Then we have to come back here to have it read. And they said, we need it here. so we can do it on premises. So I was able to get a mammogram machine. At the ribbon cutting, and I have pictures of the ribbon cutting, it was very exciting. The mammogram was pink, and it was just the cutest thing. And I made on the podium, I made a couple of comments, and I said, next year, we're gonna get an MRI machine. And everybody was clapping. Somebody came up behind me, and they said, think bigger. I said, bigger than an MRI?
Yeah.
They said, look, you have over 200,000 veterans in the Las Vegas Valley, and we had no hospital facility for them if anyone got sick. If they got sick, they had to go to Long Beach for care, which took them away from their families and their loved ones. And so we knew we needed a full-service VA hospital to take care of at the time, 200,000 veterans that called Southern Nevada home.
Amazing.
And all of a sudden it clicked in my head, and that became the major priority for my office. And we worked very hard. I became very, very good friends with the VA secretary at the time,
Nice.
Anthony Principi.
Oh, yeah.
He came out, we started looking for land, and that was the start. It was the lady vets and the mammogram machine. And if you go over to North Las Vegas and you see that magnificent hospital, that was the beginning.
It doesn't look like a VA hospital. It looks like a state-of-the-art.
It is magnificent.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I go there.
I'm so happy. My dad went there.
Oh, good.
My dad had hearing problems. He was a World War II vet.
Okay.
And so he had his healthcare needs met at the VA hospital. So
That's good.
if people ask me quite often, what is your greatest accomplishment? Having served for 14 years, VA hospital.
Oh.
And let me tell you something else, which is a sad commentary on our times. The year that I got the approval, the money for the plans, which was $60 million. I mean, it wasn't.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was a lot of money just for the planning stage. And then it was the single biggest earmark in the 2006 federal budget. The single largest earmark was that VA hospital. It was built on an earmark.
Wow.
And that's how we built that hospital. And it was just the proudest accomplishment that I could have ever had. It just magnificent.
I'm even prouder now of you after hearing the story from you. That's outstanding.
Thank you. But this is the thing. It was a Republican administration, and I was in the minority. And we still got it done. And that's when everyone worked together and they knew that this was the right thing to do for our veterans, and it didn't matter what party.
Wow, good for you. See, you're rare, but you're that diamond we need again.
Well, I thank you for that. My staff was magnificent. Good. I mean, this was a major priority for all of us.
Good. Now you've gone from mammogram to hospital. Now your son, Max, is running for something here in Las Vegas.
Max is running for Justice of the Peace.
Nice.
And it is the first time that he's decided to put his hat in the ring. And I think with his temperament and knowing Max the way I do, obviously.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think, if no one knows him better,
right.
that he will make a wonderful judge. So we're very excited about it.
We're happy to hear that.
Well, thank you so much.
Wow, here you go. I mean, I didn't expect this tonight. It's outstanding. So we snuck into Robert's office and we had a great interview. Congresswoman, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You are amazing.
Well, thank you for doing everything you do for the vets, too.
Hey, our pleasure. I mean, you led the way for us, so thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Well, there you have it. Congresswoman Shelley Berkley right here at the Egglet Adams Law Firm. Thanks for tuning in. We got more coming up next.